Hello, welcome to Ireland. It is April 2014, and my wife and I have been here for about a week. We flew into Dublin and rented a car, and we've been visiting cities like Cashel, Cork, Cove, Kinsale. We did the Ring of Kerry, Dingle Peninsula, Tralee, Galway. We are driving to County Roscommon right now, and then on our way back to Dublin to fly home. So needless to say, we've been driving a lot. Before coming over, I was having a little bit of anxiety about driving on the opposite side of the road in Ireland, so I tried to do some research to help prep for it, and I found a few things, but hopefully this video will dive into a little bit more detail about what it's like for Americans driving in Ireland. So first and foremost, we definitely would recommend renting a car. This is hands down the best way to see Ireland. You'll have the freedom to stop when you want to stop, go off the beaten path, and really just, enjoy your trip to the max. So renting a car is great. They've got your major rental car companies the same as they do in the States. We rented a manual transmission, honestly, because it was the cheapest. They'll upcharge you for about €5 a day, which is honestly really affordable. So if you are not comfortable with driving a stick, would definitely recommend that. We also opted to get the premium insurance package, which was actually very expensive. But honestly, for the comfort of being able to get a few dings and scratches here and there, especially on some narrow roads, the insurance package is well worth it. In the layout, obviously we are on the right side of the car, but everything is pretty much the same. And so the clutch is all the way to the left, brakes in the middle, and the accelerator's on the right. In terms of stick shift, the top left is first gear, the bottom right is reverse, so that's pretty much the same layout as American cars. It's just you are on the right hand side of the car. So learned a few things coming into this week. First thing, when I started driving the car, you rent it and you literally drive off the lot. They only need a driver's license and a credit card. So any American, if you have a driver's license, is good to go. I believe the age is 25. They might charge you a fee if you're younger than that. But as I started driving off the lot, I found out pretty quickly that just the view is completely different. So I started really hugging the left-hand side of the curb, which was a completely different feeling. I honestly hit the sidewalk a few times, so I tried to overcorrect by really hugging the middle, which in that point you got pretty close to other cars. So it might take you a little while to get used to driving in the exact center due to your vantage point. One thing I learned the hard way is that you cannot turn left on a red light. I assume since you can turn right on red in America, then that's something you can do here. Did it a few times, got honked at, and then just actually asked someone if I was able to do that. You are not able to do that. So that's a good thing to know. Roundabouts are obviously fairly common here. I feel like they're becoming more common in America, so they're not too big of a deal, but just remember to yield and look to your right to see if anyone's coming. It is customary, if you're going a 3/4 turn or all the way to the right, to actually turn your turn signal on so people know where you're going. What else? Fuel. They call them petrol stations, which they call that most places in Europe here. So if you're looking for a gas station, call it a petrol station, and they'll usually have two pumps. One is green, which is gas, the one you want to fill up with. The other is black, which is diesel. So most of the roads here, even if you're driving in between major cities, aren't really like American interstates. We've seen a few of those, but they're few and far between. So get used to a road looking like this, where it's just a 2-lane road where cars are coming straight at you. Most of the speed limits here are about 100 kilometers an hour, which is roughly between, I'd say, 60 and 70 miles an hour. If there are interstate style roads, those will be about 120 kilometers an hour, it's about 75 miles an hour, I'd say. In that case, if you are on a major interstate, driving on the left-hand side, the left-hand lane, so cars can pass you on the right, is pretty common. Finding a GPS that'll work here is really, really important. So you can see there, we actually just bought a GPS online. that works for both America and Europe. We bought it for about $150 used, which is about the same price as they were going to charge us to rent it for a week here in Ireland. So we went ahead and just bought the GPS rather than renting it. If you already have a GPS, you can get an update offline for about $50, $60, $70 for Europe. Ours just came with both Europe and America, so we'll use it when we get home now, which is really, really nice. So we went over GPS, driving on the left. I think the biggest piece of advice, parking and tolls. And so there are a few toll roads here. Most of them are about almost €2. So make sure you've got some cash, some euro coins with you. Parking, if you're parking on the street or something like that, they'll have pay meters, but most of them we haven't seen any that accept credit card. So again, make sure you have some cash for that. And so again, to just wrap up, driving in Ireland, for America's Driving in Ireland, go into it, do your research, watch videos like this, read forums and things like that. And a big piece of advice that I would give is just to kind of think about it going into it, to kind of mentally prepare yourself. If you have a few extra minutes, sit down and think about driving on the left-hand side of the road, and if you're turning left, that's the most inner lane, and if you're turning right, that's the outside lane. If you're turning right, make sure to look for oncoming traffic. That's something that I did a few times. I cut off a few cars on a complete accident, but since you're used to turning right automatically in America, it's just something you have to get used to. So think about it coming in and have some confidence, because like I said, driving in Ireland is the best way to actually see the country. You'll have the freedom to see what you want to see, go where you want to go, and do what you want to do. And so renting a car is an absolute must, but just have confidence in yourself. It took me about 24 hours to get completely used to it. And now the biggest thing I'm worried about is going back to the US and driving on the other side of the road. So enjoy your trip to Ireland. It's an amazing country, and cheers.